I want to do some brain and endocrine system anatomy. So let's get started with the brain. So right here we have the cerebrum, and we have the cerebellum right here. Here's your transverse fissure. Here's your frontal lobe, your cerebrum, parietal lobe, temporal lobe, occipital lobe. Right here we have the longitudinal fissure. And right here we have the transverse fissure. So let's open the brain up, and we're going to do some structures now. So right here we have the corpus callosum. Next we have the septum pellucidum or clear septum, which separates your two lateral ventricles. Next we have fornix right here. Corpus callosum, septum pellucidum, fornix. This structure right here is your thalamus. This triangle structure here is the hypothalamus. So thalamus and hypothalamus. Infundibulum is a stalk right here, and then pituitary gland right here is this bean-shaped structure. Let's do it on this brain here. So same thing. We have the corpus callosum, clear septum or septum pellucidum, fornix, thalamus, hypothalamus, infundibulum, pituitary gland. Now, want to do some more things. We have the pineal body or pineal gland, which is going to secrete melatonin right here. Here's your pituitary gland. Those both start with a P. Don't get those two mixed up. So pituitary gland, pineal gland is going to sit very close to your corpora quadrigemina right here. Same thing over here. Pituitary gland again. Pineal body or pineal gland here, which secretes melatonin. Right here is your corpora quadrigemina. We have the pineal pineal body right here. And then you have your pituitary gland. Pituitary gland, and then your pineal body or gland. Okay, next we have the pons here, medulla oblongata. Over here, pons, medulla oblongata. Thalamus, hypothalamus, infundibulum, pituitary gland, pons, medulla oblongata, corpus callosum, clear septum, fornix. And let's do the thyroid gland. So the thyroid gland is right here. Here's your cricothyroid muscle, or cricothyroideus. Here's your thyroid cartilage. Thyroid gland is right here. You have your parathyroid glands within your thyroid tissue, which can't be seen here, but just wanted to point that out. I want to mention this real quick before we take this sternum and the pectoral muscle and the this is your mammary tissue here, or breast tissue. Here we have the nipple, areola, and mammary gland tissue. Okay, pectoralis major muscle here. So we'll take this off. Here we can see the skin that's still on. Again, we have the nipple, areola, and right here we see the mammary tissue that's exposed here. You can see the glandular structures here for the mammary tissue. Okay, taking this off here, and we'll remove the lungs, remove the liver here, and we'll remove the stomach. So now we can see some more endocrine gland structures. So this structure right here is your pancreas. Here's the pancreas. Here's your duodenum right here of your small intestines. Here we see the pancreatic duct right here, which goes into the duodenum of your small intestines. Now, we see these two structures here that are on top of your kidneys. This one and this one. Those are your suprarenal glands or the adrenal glands. And you can see that they're going to be oriented toward the vena cava, inferior vena cava, and your abdominal aorta. So we have the adrenal glands here and here. Okay? Now, on to the next. Oh yeah, I need to show you the parts of the pancreas. So I already showed you the pancreas already here. So the pancreas, unique thing about the pancreas is it's going to have both endocrine function because it's going to secrete two hormones, insulin and glucagon. And also it's going to secrete enzymes that's going to be important for digestion. So insulin and glucagon are going to be secreted from the pancreas here. Thyroid gland is going to secrete the hormones T3 and T4. Thyroxine and triiodothyronine, as well as calcitonin. And then your parathyroid glands within the thyroid tissue secrete the parathyroid gland, parathyroid hormones. Parathyroid glands secrete the parathyroid hormone. And then there's going to be a lot of hormones secreted from the pituitary gland here. So we have the adrenocorticotropic hormone. We have the FSH, or follicle stimulating hormone, and luteinizing hormone, LH. We have the prolactin that's secreted. We have the growth hormone. We have ADH, or antidiuretic hormone, or vasopressin, as well as oxytocin, as well as others. Those are just a few hormones that's going to be secreted from your pituitary gland. And then remember, the pineal gland or pineal body is going to secrete melatonin. Now, we want to next move over to this structure here. Forgot to put this out. So, here we see a big kidney model here, and we can see that you have the adrenal gland on top of it. And here you have a cutaway of the adrenal gland. So here's a cutaway of the adrenal gland. So right here we see the cutaway here of the adrenal gland or suprarenal gland. And here you can see the cortex region. So all this would be your cortex region here. And now we're going to talk about the parts of the cortex. So there's 3 parts of the cortex. We have the first part here, and it's called the zona glomerulosa. Right here. This little thin pink area that's going to be around. The zona glomerulosa. Right here. Zona glomerulosa. The zona glomerulosa is going to secrete this hormone, aldosterone, or your mineralocorticoids. So, aldosterone is going to be secreted. That's the major hormone that's secreted of the mineralocorticoids. Now, we have this next layer here, this in orange. This is going to be the zona fasciculata. The zona fasciculata is going to secrete your glucocorticoids or your corticosteroids. It's going to secrete your glucocorticoids or your corticosteroids. And just to remember, cortisol. Cortisol. So cortisol is going to be secreted from here, the zona fasciculata. Now, the reticularis is going to secrete the androgens right here. So the androgens. Reticularis secretes the androgens. The androgens, excuse me. So, next we have this structure in the middle here, and that's the adrenal medulla. The adrenal medulla is going to secrete the norepinephrine and epinephrine involved in your ANS, autonomic nervous system, your sympathetic division, where nerve fibers, are going to innervate this tissue here of the medulla, going to cause the medulla to release the norepinephrine and epinephrine. So hopefully that makes sense for the brain and endocrine system. Now, I want to move on to the next thing here, the male sex organs. So, right here we have the male mid-sagittal section, and I want to show you some structures here. So right here is your rectum, right here is your external anal sphincter, right here is your pubic bone, right here is your pubic symphysis. So pubic bone, remember, right here. Pubic symphysis is right here. And then you have your ureters. You have one ureter right here, the left one, and then one ureter is right here. That's the right one. Okay? Next we have the bladder. So here we see the bladder on the outside, right here. Here's your prostate right here. And then here you see the inside of the bladder, right here. Next, we have the prostate gland. I've already showed you. So here's your prostate. And right here, we can see the prostate right here. So here's your prostate. We see A is going to be the pars prostatica urethra. And then right here we see B, the prostatic utricle. So remember that the urethra is going to be going through the prostate gland. the urethra is going to be going through the prostate gland. And there's secretions that's going to be secreted from your prostate. There's also going to be secretions that's going to be coming from your seminal vesicle right here on either side. So here's your prostate, here's your seminal vesicle here. There's going to be seminal fluid coming from here, and right here we're going to have secretions from your prostate coming. And then, of course, the majority of semen that comes out your urethra is going to be secretions of your seminal vesicles as well as your prostate. That's going to be the majority of the fluid is in your ejaculate that comes out, the urethra. Okay, I want to next move on and talk about the vas deferens. So you have the vas deferens right here. Here's your vas deferens right here. And with the vas deferens, this is going to be the tube that conveys the testicular fluid up into the pelvic cavity. And then there's going to be secretions from the seminal vesicles as well as the prostate that's going to mix in with the testicular fluid, going to provide nourishment for the sperm. That's going to make up the large majority of the semen or the ejaculate that comes out. Okay. So, right here we have the scrotum. That's the skin. So here's the scrotum. Here is the testicle right here. Okay. Right here we have the cremaster muscle. That's smooth muscle that's around, as we see here. Cremaster muscle. And I'm going to show you on another model here that. So here we can see, well, we don't show it that well, so we'll just not have to worry about that. I'll show that model again. So we have the cremaster muscle right here, as I said before. We have what's next, the epididymis. So the epididymis can be seen on the outside right here. So here's your epididymis right here. So here's your parts. Right here we can see the head. Right here. And here's your tail. So the testicular fluid is going to be conveyed from the tail of the epididymis and then out via this conduit here, or tube, called the vas deferens. Now, right here, we see that this right here, that's what I was going to show in another model. So we see the testicular artery and testicular vein here, and then the vas deferens. And then nerve fibers would be in here as well. So that would make up your spermatic cord. And that's what I wanted to show you here. So here's your spermatic cord right here that's being shown. Here we see the blood vessels. We see the testicular arteries and veins. Here's your testicle here. Here is your epididymis right here. And on this side, we see the spermatic cord in good detail. Now, there is a, well, it's not shown here, but there's an ingrinal canal that's going to be conveying the artery, the vein, and the vas deferens up into the pelvic cavity here. Okay, I want to next move on and talk about the inside here. So here we have the cremaster muscle here again. Here we have the head and the tail region of the epididymis. And then right here we have the corpus cavernosum. Corpus cavernosum. And then right here is your corpus spongiosum. Here's your corpus spongiosum. And here we see the penis right here. So that's your erectile tissue, the penis. The corpus cavernosum and spongiosum. Corpus cavernosum and spongiosum. And then right here, we can see the head of the penis. Right here. And then we can see the shaft of the penis right here. Here's the shaft of the penis here. And here, let me turn this way here. Here we can see the foreskin. Right here. Here's your foreskin. Your prepuce or foreskin of the penis. Okay? And let's see what else. I think that's it for the male. I want to next move on to the female. Let's just turn the page here. So I'm going to show you a lot of the same structures here. So right here we see the rectum again. So let's remove this part for the time being here. So here's your rectum here. Right here is your external anal sphincter. External anal sphincter is right here. And then we can see the pubic bone, pubic symphysis right here. And we can see the labrum majus right here. Labrum minus right here. Urethra right here. This is the bladder right here. So let me show you this on the male. I don't know if I showed you this or not. But right here, we can see the urethra. Here's the bladder. Same thing with the female. The bladder and the urethra. Okay? Now, I want to next move on and do the ureters. So, we can see a ureter, same place right here. So here's a ureter right here, the left one. And then we can see a right one right here. Here's a right ureter. And let's see. We have the clitoris. So here's the clitoris right here. Here's the clitoris right here. So here's your clitoris here. Here's the clitoris again, right here. You know, it's cut, this mid-sagittal section right here. Okay. We have the vagina. Vagina is this structure right here. Urethra is right here. Vagina. Next, we have the fornix. So here's your fornix right here. And this structure right in here would be your cervix. So here's your cervix right here, which is going to open up into the uterus. So we have the parts of the uterus right here. So this whole structure right here is your uterus. Right here. Here's your uterus. So we have the endometrium right here, represented in pink. The myometrium right here. And the most outside part is your perimetrium. So the endometrium right here, myometrium, and this right here would be your perimetrium right here. So endo is pink, the red would be the myometrium, smooth muscle, and then your perimetrium is right here. Okay, want to next move on and do the uterine tube or fallopian tube. So right here we can pretty much see the fallopian tube or uterine tube right here, and right here this region would be, this right here would be the fimbriae. This right here would be the infundibulum, where it curves around, and this right here would be your ampullae region. So ampullae, infundibulum, and fimbriae. This right here is the ovary, synonymous structure with the testis. And then we have the ovarian vessels, which are shown right here. The ovarian artery, which is red here, and the veins are blue. And right here you can see the same thing. You can see the ovary here. You can see the fimbriae right here, infundibulum, ampullae region. That's going to go into the uterus. Okay? Right here we have the ovarian ligament, or ligaments of the ovary right here. And we have a Hunter's ligament right here. Right there, number 29. And this whole area right here would be the broad ligament, which you'll see on the dissection. Okay? And I think I've already showed you the female breast. We have the nipple, areola, and you would have the mammary gland right here. And let's see, we have this right here, this model right here. I'll show you real quick. Here we see the adrenal glands here and here, the ureters, and you can see the female part right here, which would go in like this. So you can see the uterus. You can see the uterus right here, and then your bladder right there. In the male part, you can see pretty much the bladder and then your prostate gland. And that's it.